All right, 3.4a, dividing polynomials. So these first two are actually should be review for you, because what I'm doing is this 3x to the squared has to be divided into each term in the numerator. So, for example, like 3x, okay, 3 goes into 6 twice. X squared divided into x to the fourth is just x squared. 3 goes into negative 15, negative 5 times. X squared divided into x to the third is just an x. 3x squared into 3x squared is 1. Okay. Now, number 2. Actually, I need help. I would love help. First, I'm going to break it up for you because I think that might help you see it better. 21, a to the fifth, b to the third, divided by 7ab, minus 14a to the third, b squared, divided by 7ab, plus 63a squared b, divided by 7ab. Okay, well, I've got plenty of helpers. I love it. Let's do the first one will be Chisholm, Hannah, just going in order of your hands, and Rena. Okay, and don't worry, I got more on 3 and 4. Okay, Chisholm, can you tell me the first one? Hannah, you have the second one. Rena, you have the third one.
For the first one, I got 3a to the fourth and b to the second.
You were right. Good. Hannah, the next one.
For negative 14a to the cube b to the squared, I got negative 1a squared b.
I think that 7 goes into 14 more than one time.
Oh, wait, twice. Sorry, 2. Minus 1, 2.
Good. The last one, Rena.
I got 9a.
Yeah, just 9a. Good. Okay, and you leave them all separate, you're done. Okay, number 3, you actually have to factor the numerator first. Isha, do you want to do number 3?
So like just like factor it out, or just like solve a whole problem?
Start with factoring the numerator and then you'll see that something reduces. So go ahead.
So so you can like do like w minus w plus 5.
2 numbers that multiply to make 10 and add up to negative 7.
Oh, 5, negative 5 and 2.
W minus 5, W minus 2. Now, tell me, Isha, what on the numerator and the denominator can simplify?
You can do, take out negative 2 and negative 5, which could be just 2/5.
Oh no, sorry. Okay. What if I put the W minus 5 in parentheses like that? Now is it clear something I could simplify?
Oh, W minus 2.
W minus 2 is what?
Just like by itself, because don't the W minus 5 cancel each other out?
Yes, yep. So you simplify the W minus 5s out, you're left with W minus 2. Okay, this next one, the 4h squared minus 7h minus 2, is h minus 2, and then 4h plus 1 divided by h minus 2. And the h minus 2's cancel. So you're simply left with a 4h plus 1. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is division. And what I want to do with you is I want to review a division problem. Okay. We're going to go back to 4th grade, I guess, is when you did this. So like 8 divided by 1,847. Okay. So the reason I'm doing this with you, this super easy division problem, is because I need you to remember the steps and the sequence of how you actually divide. First, you look at the number that's on the outside and you say, does 8 go into 1? No. Does 8 go into 18? Yes, 8 goes into 18 twice. Then I do, what is 8 times 2? Well, 8 times 2 is 16. And so I write that number underneath. Then I subtract, right? And I get a 2. Next step for me is to bring down the 4. Okay, does 8 go into 24? Yes, it does 3 times. Then I do. Well, what is 8 times 3? The number on the outside times the number that I think it goes in how many times? Well, 8 times 3 is 24. So I subtract and I get 0. And I bring down the 7. Does 8 go into 7? No, it's not big enough, which means I say, no, it doesn't go in. What's 8 times 0? 8 times 0 is 0. I subtract. I still have a remainder. I'm going to use that word. So here's my answer. It goes in 230 times, remainder 7. But I want to go a step further and say there's 7 left over out of the 8 that we were originally dividing by. So I'm going to say remainder 7 over 8, which you didn't see in elementary school because that would be too advanced for your little brain to handle. But I don't really want to put remainder anymore because, you know, you stop doing that. So I can put plus 7/8, right? Or you know it, you would say 230 and 7/8. That's the mixed number format. I know that some of you, you know, you would be told put a decimal and add zeros, right? But this is the mixed number version of the answer. So this division, these steps that we did, we're going to practice them today with polynomials. So I'm going to go to number 5. All right, number 5. Well, this is a trinomial. It is called the dividend. The dividend goes inside the division symbol. The x plus 8 is called the divisor. That would go here. So those are the 2 things that I'm dividing. I am going to now use the same steps that I did with my 4th grade division problem with this. I'm going to put a star underneath x. And the reason I'm going to put a star under x is because we're going to use this first number only. We're not going to divide the 8. We're going to use the x only to divide into the numbers. The 8 gets used up in a different way. So this x, I have to divide by my x squared first. So step 1, divide x squared and x. Okay. X divided into x squared. How many times what's this?
X.
X. Now guys, I'm going to put it over the term that has the same exponent. I'm not going to put it on top of the x squared. The format is, this is the way it goes. You put x over whatever has the same exponent. So now I'm going to do, look at what I did in pencil. I said, well, what is 8 times 2? And I put the 16. Okay, so now I'm going to go and say, what is x times x? And what is 8 times x? Now I'm using the 8. So now I'm going to check to see if it really does go in x times by multiplying x times x, x squared, and then 8 times x plus 8x. See what I did there? I multiplied the x and I multiplied the 8. Well, in my division problem, I subtracted. I'm going to subtract. Since I'm subtracting 2 terms, I'm going to put a parentheses around it. So now I need to subtract vertically. X squared minus x squared. Nothing. Just leave it empty. 3x minus 8x. 3x minus 8x. Negative 5x. Now, just like in my division problem, when I'm just sitting here with just a number, I bring down the next item. I'm going to bring down, it's a negative 43. So I'm going to bring down this, it's like subtraction or negative. Now I am going to divide this purple star x into 5x and see if it goes in. Only the 5x. I'm not going to divide x by 43. I'm just going to do the first term because, you know, they both have an x. And so how many times does x go into negative 5x? How many times is this front x? I don't care about the 8 right now. I don't care about the 43. So Troy, how many times is x going to negative 5x?
Negative 5 times.
Negative 5 times. So I'm going to put the negative 5 right there. Okay. All right. Now I do multiply. See my little pencil lines? 8 times the next. So here's x times negative 5 and 8 times negative 5. They both need to be multiplied by this negative 5 to make sure and get my new 2-term. It's going to be a binomial here. So I do this number on the outside x times negative 5. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. Then I do the 8 times negative 5. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. So the only difference is you have 2 things out here. And these 2 things out here need to be multiplied by the x to get my line here. And these 2 things need to be multiplied by the negative 5 to get this line here. Okay. Draw my line and I'm going to subtract. Since it's a binomial, I need to make sure I'm kind of doing the distributive property here. Negative 5x minus negative plus negative 5x minus, okay, negative 5x plus 5x is 0. So you leave it empty. Negative 43 minus negative 40. Negative 43 minus negative 40, which is basically a plus, right? Negative 43 plus 40. Negative 43 minus negative 40. It's going to end up being a negative 3. I have nothing else that I can bring down, so I stop. This right here on top is called my quotient. That's what I divided by. My quotient is how many times it went in. X minus 5, that's my quotient, right? And I have a remainder. Plus my remainder over what I was divided by. Negative 3, that's my remainder. Over, what did I divide by? X plus 8. And this is where I stop. This is my answer. Sometimes there will be no remainder, sometimes there will. Okay, this is called long division. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do number 7, long division. So take a look at number 7. Okay, number 7, here I go. This is what I'm dividing by, so that goes underneath. And my n minus 7 goes on the outside. Okay. Only the first, it's always going to be a variable, by the way. N divided by 2n squared. How many times does n go into 2n squared? So I'm dividing each thing. Phoebe.
It would be 2n.
2n. I'm going to put it here above my other power of 1 number. Now I'm going to multiply the n times 2n and the negative 7 times 2n. N times 2n, 2n squared. Then I do the negative 7 times 2n, negative 14n. Okay. Draw a line, you're going to subtract. So 2n squared minus 2n squared, nothing. Negative 16n minus negative, plus sign. Negative 16 plus 14n. My next task is to bring down the 19. Now, a purple star. How many times does n go into negative 2n? How many times does this first term n go into negative 2n? Anyone? Sid.
Negative 2 times.
N divided by negative 2n is negative 2 times. That goes up on top. Then I've got n times negative 2, negative 7 times negative 2. They both need to be multiplied by negative 2. I need something to subtract by down here. And that's how I get it. N times this negative 2. Negative 2n. And notice these are always going to make 0. Made 0 right here. It's going to make 0 right here. -7 times -2. +14. Draw a line. And I'm going to subtract. Be careful with your subtracting. Okay, ready? -2n minus negative, which is really makes 0. Okay. 19 minus 14. 5. Five is my remainder. There's nothing left to bring down. So 5 is my remainder. All right. The quotient, it goes in 2n minus 2 times quotient. I had a remainder, it's 5. So I add it, 5, and then I put it over, what was I dividing by this whole time? N minus 7. 2n minus 2 plus 5 over n minus 7. All right. I'm jumping down to number 9. Do another one. Okay. The title over here says missing powers. Well, let's look. K to the third minus 17k to the first. Where's k squared? There's no k squared. That's a problem that there's no k squared. K squared is missing, but I can't skip exponents. I cannot skip a power. Because if I'm going to write it, and I'm going to put k to the third, there's no k squared, but I need to have everything in order here in my division problem. So what I'm going to have you do is put a 0, because 0 times k squared would still hold that place. 0 k squared, then minus 17k plus 32. So the 0 is because I need to have all of my k's included. K to the third, k squared, k to the 1. So you need to include the missing exponent. I'm dividing by k plus 5. I'm going to go through this whole thing again. Ready? And I need more space. I can already tell that this is going to be all right. Here we go. Purple star. Only this first k gets divided. And I just look at the first term. K goes into k cubed. How many times? Well, Phoebe.
It goes in k squared times.
K squared. Please put your k squared here. Okay. Now I do my whole multiplying. K times k squared, 5 times k squared. Okay. K, this outside number, times how many times I think it goes in, k squared, is k to the third. And then I do the 5. 5 times k squared plus 5k squared. Subtract. Okay. K cubed minus k cubed, 0. Easy. 0k squared minus 5k squared. 0 minus 5. Negative 5k squared. I'm going to bring down this negative 17. Okay, now I do my purple, the first k, divide by just the negative 5k squared. So it's how many times does this k in front go into negative 5k squared? I'm only worrying about the first terms of like most of this. K divided by negative 5k squared is negative 5k. Okay, now since I think it goes in negative 5k times, I multiply the k times negative 5k and the 5 times negative 5k. Okay, k times negative 5k. Negative 5k squared. Then 5 times negative 5k. Negative 25k. Subtract the whole thing. By the way, how's it going so far? I haven't heard from anybody. Are you okay?
Yeah, good.
Other people? Anybody have a question or you don't understand how I got what I got? The ordering's all the same. It's just getting in the habit of, okay, first I do this, then I do this. First I divide, then I multiply by what's on top, the 5 and the k, and then I subtract.
What happens if you didn't put the parenthesis? Like,
If you don't put the parentheses, you might get mixed up and forget that like you need to subtract the negative 25k. Some people do that. And then they have the wrong number because they forgot about it's like a distributive property subtraction. Negative 5k minus minus, negative 5k plus 5k, 0. This is always going to be 0 right here. But this, negative 17 minus negative. Negative 17 minus negative 25 plus. That's going to get me 8. Okay.
Mrs. Grant, for 0k squared minus 5k squared, wouldn't you subtract the k to the power 2 minus k to the power 2? So
I wouldn't. The k squared is like the attached variable. It's like saying, Chisholm, hey, what's 5x minus 3x? And someone goes, it's just 2. No, it's 2x, right? So that's the reason. And I don't even want to keep this on my paper because, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bring down the 32. Divide these two terms. How many times does k go into 8k? 8. Oh, Alexander.
8 times.
8 times. Okay. Multiply. K times 8. 8k. I want it to be the same number because they make 0, remember? 5 times 8. 40. Subtract. 8k minus 8k. 32 minus 40. Negative 8. Negative 8 is my remainder. So here's your answer. K squared minus 5k plus 8 is my quotient, right? And my remainder plus negative 8 over, what was I dividing by this whole time? The k plus 5. All right.